Everyone, I love like our little intro because it helps us stay organized and get on the camera on time. Love it. Today, longest raindrop. Jacob is here for a brief moment and then he's taking off. We got Uncle Dennis on the camera. We got Sam and Gabby in the house. Elise is around. We got Command Center rolling.
I was practicing basketball all afternoon and then they just sprung it on me that it's not basketball. So I'll be ready in 5 more shows to whoop it up.
Would you like to go last?
Hey,
Jake, why don't you lead?
whenever you guys want the winner to go, just tell them when you want them to go.
All right, Jake, you go first.
All right, So the cool thing about the rain wrap is that's something that we have our apprentices do because we sell a lot of rain wraps and they're pretty sweet. You can get them online at glassacademy.com. But what we do is we have them practice learning how to control the speed and the heat of the glass so that they know how to work the glass. And this is a great exercise to do that. So Jake's gathering up a molten gather of clear crystal, and you can't reheat it. You can only use the heat of the tank. Oh, he's going for a tiny one.
Starting off being a gentle one.
It's already done. Oh, here we go, folks. Whoa. This is going to be a long one. Oh, oh, oh. Holy moly, that one's got to be at least 5 feet, maybe.
What?
Look at it.
Can I, like, not go?
I see exactly how to do this. Well, you got to
What the
lay it
heck?
down and chalk it up, buddy, with the tape measure. I'll take this from you. We'll go over here, folks. We're going to lie it down. That's a pretty darn wet-looking raindrop. Give it a tap with the back end right on the ground. All right, now Jake's going to get the tape measure out.
I was going to say pull it away from the writing, but okay.
All right, now Michelle is up. Let's see if I can find a tapey.
See what you got, Michelle. She's got a big one, folks.
Yeah, but I didn't watch what you guys were doing, so.
Looking good, looking good.
Oh yeah, she's really working it. Everybody make sure you watch it so you don't get the old hot drop in the face.
Looking good.
Who saw that one on Instagram with the guy with the wiggly nose? Oh, dang, I finally did a good one and it's not enough.
Look at her wiggling it.
Wiggle it.
Come on.
Keep wiggling it.
As it's getting stiff.
Don't break it now.
Now it's the pendulum.
Pendulum wiggle.
All right, I'm going to take that. You got it?
I got it, but it's not enough.
Well, we got it next to Jake's here. Let's see. It's looking pretty good. It's a contender, but it's a little short.
Aww. Whoops.
All right, now it's my turn. Who knows? I haven't made these since we were doing perfume bottle production back in the day. Yeah. I'm thinking a hot pipe helps.
I thought about that, but I thought if it was too hot, just to grip it, you have no control over it.
But I can't point the punchy rod right to the ceiling and get an extra 5 feet.
Yes, you can. That's true.
Oh, I got a little on
Little
here.
heat on there. And here we go, folks. He feels like he's the champion today.
I'm feeling champion-esque.
Champion-esque.
I like the little stepping stool to get up.
Here we go. That's a long one. It's long. It's wiggling. It's wobbling. Here it comes. It's looking hot, folks. It's looking hot now. Oh, little air. Coming right at me and Uncle Dennis. Uh-oh, uh-oh. Oh, brother.
I may have got it.
Dag nabbit.
That one's looking good. Look at the rain. I can feel it. Raindrops are falling on my head.
That does look like the nicest raindrop we've seen in quite a while, folks. And it's honestly probably the first time none of the glass blowers have actually dropped one off the pipe. So you see the length of mine by the ruler here. Let's see what Chris has got going on next to mine. About an extra foot on there.
Dum 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 dum.
Let me give it the old chalk mark. You got Michelle down here. You got Jake. You got... What?
So does this mean that my name goes on the GA Cup?
The GA Champions Cup.
I like it. Does everybody out there know what the GA Cup is? Should we show them?
Probably should show them.
All right, Dennis, why don't you come with me over here for a sec?
Let's take a gander.
All the way over here to where we store the world famous GA Cup, just like the Stanley Cup. Here it is right here, folks. It's got Detroit on it. We've actually drank out of this thing. And if you see right here, you've got all the names of the winners of every competition we've had here on the Gathering Point show. And that's right, I get my name on there next. I'm loving it. I need to get my name on there. I think Jake might be having his name on there the most, but there's a lot of good names on there, for sure. I think Joey's on there, Marcy's on there, Jake's on there, Michelle's on there, and I'm on there. It's awesome. So we're gonna be getting that going. Check these guys out real quick. Look at those guys. There's some really cool corporate awards going on. Looking pretty sweet.
So for the show, it's kind of a rare show today.
Yeah, today we're doing
Rare show.
feathers, you guys,
Uh-oh.
and it is sweet. And do you want to walk over there real quick and show them the feathers in the gallery?
No, because
Uh-oh.
the lights aren't on. We have enough at the desk. What I did want to say is if you hit the bell on YouTube, that's when you get notifications so you know we're going live. And do you want to do a super sneak peek of what you're working on? Because we're filming that Thursday for the members only.
Yeah, we can do that. We're going to have a special filming for the
members.
VIP members.
Yep, $5 a month. Go show them, give a sneak peek.
All right, it's going to be quick then. To sneak over there, you got to walk like this, you guys.
Whoa. Look at that foot motion.
All right, come
Well,
on.
I'll tell you on the way over, folks, the reason I didn't have a mic on and the reason I'm taking off is I'm feeling under the weather, and Chris and Michelle are ready to take over on this show. Michelle's going to be making some feathers. Chris is going to give you the sneak peek, and I'm going to catch you all for the annealer reveal a couple days from now to see what they made.
So this is one of 3 large planter boxes that I'm doing, guys, and these particular reeds, these are going inside a corporate building in their main, in the building itself where the employees are, which is a pretty cool thing to think that business, the name of this company is called Wacker Chemical, and they're a German chemical company that are really environmentally friendly. They specialize in like environmentally friendly silicone, epoxies, things like that, that a lot of people use those things, and they're always constantly trying to better those things so that they're not bad for the planet. But they obviously care for their employees really well too, because this is one of 3 pieces. This is the other pieces are a completely different design, and you're going to see what the other designs are. This one's not quite done yet. I was in here yesterday wanting to make some really large ones for in the center here, so I did some really big reeds, about 3.5 feet tall, big ones in the center. But this whole unit is going to be, you can see, tiled with these stones, and then it's going to go into these large, like, seating planter boxes that are in the business's building. So that's a little sneak peek of some organic work that Chris Nordine Studios is doing. I'm always doing all kinds of really cool, intricate, funky jobs. The other planters, for a little bit more of a teaser, have steel inside of them. So check out these pieces that I hand forged. These particular pieces are going to be stems to blooming flowers that are going to be inside there. So keep your eyes peeled. Check us out on YouTube. Become a VIP member. But let's get back over to the show, the gathering point.
All right.
Jake, I hope you feel better. All right, so I gave him a sneak peek. I maybe gave him a little bit more than a sneak peek.
You always do.
But sorry, guys.
My marketing course makes these little things, so when you're doing a Zoom, it can be like, hey, if you agree, whoa.
Nice.
So we adapted all of hers. I hope Howard's not watching and he'll give away my secret, but this is another one I found. We need to put our own logo, like applause, on here or something.
How about the question? What the question is to win the giveaway tonight, guys? Here it is right here. Check it out. How do you know spring is sprung in your region? We got people watching us from all over the world, so everybody has different things. I mean, maybe the kangaroos come out and their pouches are bulging with a baby kangaroo in there, and that means spring. I don't know, maybe. Or maybe just they found like a rock and put it in there and they're just faking it.
It's fall in Australia.
Oh,
Yeah,
see,
so we're backwards.
well, they still have spring at some point.
I saw snowdrops, which I had never seen until someone mentioned that. They're these little white flowers that look like they come up before trilliums come up. Trilliums?
Yep.
Is that what it is? The yellow crocus. Snowdrops and then crocus. So I saw both on my dog walk. So spring has sprung here.
Nice.
Yes. All right, ready to start blowing?
Yes. So we're going to start with the feathers.
Yeah, so here's the deal. The question on Sunday relates to feathers, I think. It's not in today's question because this was the spring has sprung. So I do collect some feathers, and these were color patterns I had, and knowing I was making a series with feathers, I want you to notice a few things. The stem here is going to be cane that we use, the spine. I'm sure it has some technical term. If you know it, throw it in the chat. But what I did want to notice is see how the side's really thin? I did not cut that, that's how it is. And then this side's really thick. So if you've been watching the experimental show, you saw I tried a couple different things with color patterns. We're going to show you the end result of what I really liked about color patterns, and we're going to talk that through.
Nice.
So Uncle Dennis is on the camera. Chris is actually my gaffer for this project, so I can color the piece exactly the pattern that I wanted.
So I'm going to let you guys see Uncle Dennis real quick for a second. All right. Uncle D, what's up? There he is, guys. He's the mad video man. And when Michelle said gaffer, she really has to put some thought and design into the way she draws up the color and picks it up on the pipe and brings it over to me. So I'm pretty much just like acting as a helper with the creation of the feathers, but she's doing the color pattern right now. So we're going to get started with that.
Yeah, the color pattern is too hard to say, like, okay, dip 3 times in this one and add this. It's easier for me to...
Well, I mean, in this particular case, the color pattern is more important than what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So
wait, before we
let's
start...
get on it.
Before we start,
Okay.
this is the cane that I'm working with. And they are cut to the right size. They're in the garage, which at some point, since we're making these all night, you can walk over and look at. To give an example, here's a quick example of one. The cane's going to be right down the center like that. And then we're going to put this pattern. And so one of the things I do want to work on is we're not going to do as many cuts. And we're also going to change the angle of some of the cuts. So we're going to do maybe 2 cuts at the bottom, a couple cuts at the top. And all the pieces of wood are salvaged wood from different projects, and I match the feather to the wood color-wise. So here would be another one. I'll leave this one here. So I like the wormholes that got formed on the wood, and then matching the feather. All right, so Chris, you have all your tools.
I do.
The color pattern's pretty important on this, so let's show you 2 other things about color. In these bins are some of the frit that we use, but we normally don't use this size. This is number 3. And so that's going to make big spots. That's a black. This one is a copper ruby. And so they have some reduction, which means metallic kind of qualities to them. This is the black bigger, like these are almost chocolate chip size. Don't know if I'm going to use those, but I pulled them out, and this is another dark color. So most of the base color is a lighter, so I wanted darker dots. And then Dennis, if you could come over here. These are powders that I'm going to be using. We have a ventilation system on this side of the shop, so any dust that's made when I attach the powders kind of goes up in the venting system, so that's why they're not over on the other bench. These are reduction colors, which means they'll get sparkly and shiny if I choose to use that. So I will come from the furnace and be able to put the color pattern right on, add the dots, and then bring it to Chris at the main bench. So we're going to do a bunch of these. The last thing we could show them is the stems are in here. So Chris is pretty good at this. He needs to go in and just pick up one of these strips on a pipe, stabilize it, and then I'm going to bring the color over. So those are the same pieces that I showed you earlier. They're called cane. And we have some super small sizes on the left, probably not going to use, but I just put them as backup. And then I'm going to tell them which color to pick up, and then I match my color to it. So while I'm here, let's start with one of the white ones right there.
I see it. So Dennis, show them the parameter over here of the temperature, what temperature it is inside of that garage. It's called a garage right there, guys, because you could park glass in there just like a garage, and it sits at 1,000 degrees, and then you can grab it and pick it up and use it for different applications, because you can't grab cold glass and use it for different applications because the quick heating process would shatter the glass. So you put it inside the garage, bring it up really slowly. Now it's sitting at 1,000 degrees. We can pick those up and do whatever we want with them. This particular instance, we're going to be doing leaves, Michelle's feathers, and it's going to be a pretty cool process. You're going to get to see how it all goes down right now, which is going to be pretty sweet. So basically, because we've done this before in working on these, you want me to go ahead and just grab one, but are we doing a feather for the warmer-upper?
We're just getting started. This is the whole show.
All right.
So you're going to grab one of those white ones. If Sam hears me, she's going to put in the chat, there's a women's, right, it's International Women's Month. There was an article about 3 women who opened a glass studio in Murano. And I find it fascinating because women just don't have studios in Murano. So she'll put that in the link. If you don't read it now, read it later. At the end of the article, they talk about one woman who's got a team of 9 men, and she's the maestro of the team. So in this scenario, I would be the designer, and Chris is the master of making the glass.
Yeah, and Murano is an island off the coast of Venice that they've been blowing glass for over 1,000 years there. So it's a pretty heavy-duty island. All right, so to gather any of that, the feather stems out of there, I have to gather a tiny little gather of glass on the end of this, and then I need to stick it onto that piece and then preheat it enough in there so that I can get over to the glory hole and get it into the 2,500 degree heat without it cracking. So you're gonna kind of see how this goes down right now. Just a little gather. It's almost, I'm using this almost like glue right now, guys. Shaping it up to have a nice symmetrical connection point. And then I go in there. It's almost a little too hot for me to grab right away. Now I'm gonna go in, stick on, let it stabilize a little bit. Then I'm gonna be able to come up off the ground, watch. There, now it's moving, but I'm up. So I want to make sure that I get it nice and warm in there before I try to boogie over to the bench, which is about 20 feet from here. So making it nice and even with the heat, getting in that hot glass. See how I'm up in the flame in there, guys? Right in there. I'm letting it get above 1,000. I want it to be about 1,400 maybe when I head over to the glory hole, which is 2,500. Any of those huge changes in heat, a couple hundred, 200-300 degrees change will crack this piece. So I'm getting ready to go right now, coming out, and then I got to get in there real quick.
Tell me when you're ready.
And I ease it into the heat source, and now it's hot. And I'm ready, Michelle, when you are. I don't want to overheat this. Watch when I come out. It's going to be moving a little bit, guys. So now the whole thing's malleable. I don't want to distort it too much. I want to keep it straight. And it's all about timing. I have to make sure that I keep it hot enough that...
Okay, so this one is the thinner side, and
this
then
the
the
one
next
you're-
one will be the thicker side.
Give me 1 second, Shell. Just get it nice and hot, but I gotta get a pinch on this. All right, I'll be ready when you are. That's a really cool color pattern she put on there. Really nice. The funny thing is I can't really tell exactly what it's going to look like until it's cooled down. Yep. Yes.
All right, so
This is the bigger side.
this is the bigger side.
Well, Michelle told me she was like less cuts, and it's like I didn't think about it, and I just cut it a bunch, but she was like less cuts. I'm like, yes, for sure, because I'm only doing what she's telling me to do, and I did that second side. I did less cuts, and it does look really nice. It looks better. It's less distractions on the color pattern and surface. Check that out, guys.
So these pretty much will have all reduction. Another reason why, so this is a whole body. I am paying attention to the colors that I use and the final result, but I won't know the true colors until it's completely finished. So we're doing a great mix of all of them. ease off.
Well, what do you think here, Shell?
That's fine. Let's snip that.
Cut it off?
Do it a little rounded, yeah. All right, so that was a light colored one. We'll go for a darker one next.
So she wants me to cut this top off. Oh yeah, there we go.
So the powders are nice. They're kind of like chalky. If you know our regular products, sometimes they're a little more granule. This makes it really smooth. And that was the other thing. They're not branches, so they don't twist. If they bend, that's okay, but
That's a beaut.
yeah.
All right, into the annealing oven with it.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to put a little bit of water on here, and I want to make sure that it's nice and delicate when it comes off, guys. Oh yeah, came off perfect. That's what we want. All right, can't leave that door open too long because that'll actually shock the glass.
Okay, now dark one.
A dark one?
Yes.
All right, I see it. She's set that dark one aside for me so I get the right one. Letting it just stiffen up a little bit in there. Just enough that I could get it up. There we go. Into that heat source over there to the left. The thing about a garage, everybody, and this is what you're looking into right now, is that it's 1,000 degrees on the far right side. That's where the thermocouple parameter reader is, on the far right side of the garage in the right interior. On the far left, it's a lot hotter than that. So if I left things on the far left, they would actually melt. So that's why you have to pick them up and move them over there, and then you got to get out and get out of there and get into your other heat source.
So, same thing. One side smaller, small one first.
Yes.
You ready?
Yep. So I always try to get a little bit of a neck on the end here so that I have a really fragile point for that guy to come off. And if there's a little bit of dust on it, I go in and I take the dust off. Then I immediately got to get back into that heat because that rag pulls it. So that's the big, this is the big side.
No, small. Always small first.
So that whole bit is only that big.
All right.
So it's a lot of glass. So it could be the big side and the
Sure.
big one half
I'll
that
do the
size.
next one small. Okay. I know we didn't go over the table. We did eggs on the table. Those of you who watch The Gathering Point, the table is live. And after this feather, we will go over the eggs. Why do we have a live table if you're new to the show? Because we are the Glass Academy. We have a gallery in our space. We are not funded by anyone. This is how we make our living, so we put products on the website that you can purchase, and we pick specific ones during the show. My mic is off. You could even do less cuts. This one is a tobacco color with iris gold dots on it. They're very similar in color. It should be a really subtle pattern. Once we do the reduction on it, both colors actually reduce. So these are going to create spots on the feathers. The next ones after we show off the table are going to be stripes. So we'll show you how the stripes are done. Another thing I wanted to mention, this cane was all pulled separately. That was a whole nother day of working. So even though these feathers feel like they go pretty quick, there's finishing on the back end and lots of setup before this can even happen. Sometimes people ask why glass blowing is so expensive too. We've got the garage rolling. We've got a furnace with the hot molten glass. We've got a glory hole, this torch, all these tools. So for those of you who want to get into glass blowing as a hobby, there is an initial investment. This is not your typical Play-Doh.
Haha, Play-Doh. Fimo.
Ready, reduction?
Yes.
Well, you could make some really cool Fimo feathers.
Yeah.
That would definitely be one way to work through a color pattern scheme. Very nice, very nice. So, yeah, the dots are really big. I really like how that one looks on the tobacco.
All right. Once you reduce it and you bring those beautiful colors out, you don't want to go back in and reduce it again because you can burn them out. All right.
So I think next, hit up the table.
Is it at 6:30?
It is.
All right, guys. Well, let's come on over and take a look at the table before we get back onto some bigger leaves. A lot longer. But come on over here.
Feathers.
What was that?
Feathers.
Feathers. I'm sorry. I don't even know why I keep saying that. I'm having a mental block, guys. But hey, check it out. We have a table of Easter goodies here today. And I think there's a little bit of an interrupter in there too, which is the pot of gold. But we're going to keep looking at these beautiful eggs, guys. We've got number 1, number 2. Is number 3 a set of 3 eggs, Michelle?
Oh, it's mystery. It's showing a few times.
Oh, number 3 is a mystery egg. So you could get any egg if you bought number 3, which is down here, guys. But these are really beautiful life-size eggs that are gorgeous. And then we've got our really nice cane eggs. These things were so ridiculous last year. People love those things. Super beautiful. And if you happen to own a nest bowl, these look great in the nest bowl. So we've also got some little guys over here. These guys are what? These are 3D printed rabbits. Check those out. Sam did these. Look at these little guys. They're pretty cool looking. So they're done on a 3D printer. This one looks like it's got M&Ms inside of it. I'm not exactly sure how that happens or how it even does that. But this is the coolie. Is this a number? Is this number something?
The pot of gold. The pot of gold's on last week's show,
This
right?
was from last week's show, guys. Look at the gold coins in there. This was last week's St. Patty's Day special. We had a blast making these. Michelle, Jake, and I went crazy and got this puppy going. Look at those things. So that guy's just out here for the heck of it to bring us good luck, I think, along with these flowers. Man, those things smell ridiculous. Those things smell so good. You could you turn on the smella applicator, Dennis? So that people could get a sniff. Everybody take a big old deep sniff of these stargazers. Yeah, I love it. So the website's live for all those beautiful Easter eggs, guys. I'm not sure if there's more than one for each one or not, but is that the QR code to the website?
Sam just figured that out, so now you can QR code us and get to the website instantly, which now that we say it will probably in the future have a graphic, right? So if it shows up on Facebook, you could just scan it, or YouTube if you're watching over your phone.
Right. I like it.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Well, what do you say there?
Yes. Okay.
Next.
So now we're doing larger feathers.
Okay.
More this size. So starting out with the same dark ones lined up in there, and I'm going to do the same pattern but bigger.
All right.
So I can see if I want to have 3 that look the same on one piece of wood instead of having them all on separate pieces of wood. So when we do a body of work, this is kind of how we do a body of work.
That glass is cooking in there. I mean, when I say cooking, it seems a little bit hot, but we're working at about 2,120 degrees, guys. A dark one you got picked out here, Michelle?
Yep.
It's a big one. Twice the length of the last ones I've been doing, so
Exactly.
probably going to get a little bit more difficult to do, but we're going to see what happens, especially to get this guy up into the air. It's still really loose. Let's see if I can get it up. Hoi! If you make that karate sound, it really helps out, everybody. Hoi! Hoi! Looking good. I built this piece of equipment. I was just looking at it as I was letting this piece cool down, and I remember building it and cutting those arched doorways. And it's kind of one of the things about having a glass blowing studio is you have to know how to fabricate, how to weld, how to make certain things, because you're always repairing, building, adding on to equipment. All right, into the glory hole. I see there's a little bit of the white dust from the floor in the garage, so I'm going to get on here and wipe that dust off. I'm sure Michelle will appreciate that. And this rag is not wet because it would crack it. It's burning right now, but I don't let it catch on fire.
Okay, so this one we're going to do the same color pattern, and the one after this we'll do stripes.
Okay. Give me 1 second, Shell. It's really important to make sure that I get that extra area to break off. Otherwise, we don't want it to break at the stem. All right. I really like gaffing for Michelle because I would have never made a feather in my life. I never would have thought of it, but she always pushes me when she comes up with her ideas and she's doing them, and I'm like, what are you doing? And all of a sudden I'm like, Oh, I see what she's doing, and it's pretty sweet. And this is a nice, I loved working with her on these.
Wild fit. So that one was a little wild. I like the patterns working out really well.
I like that. That one came off great, even though you called it wild. I'm always thinking about what I'm trying to do with these patterns, and what I want to do is I want to equalize the heat between those two sides. So while I'm doing that, I'm going to heat up the tip here so I can pull that out and finish the end of the leaf. Michelle, I know I keep saying leaf, you guys, because I've made a million leaves in my life. So she keeps correcting me. It's a feather, and it's like I don't want it to be a leaf at all, but I'm not doing it that way. I guess the next time I say it, I'm going to have to get penalized somehow, but...
And then the next one, too, the one side is very thin, the other side's heavy. These are
I'm only
50,
trying
50.
to do what I'm dealt there with the bit, but I hear you. I will do that, for sure. So even, I know the one feather you showed me, I know what you're talking about, and I'll do it on the next one. It's a really sweet looking color pattern, Michelle.
Okay. So reduction?
Yep.
What are you looking at?
I wanted to see what side the pattern looked the best on, because I was going to let it fall so the front would be that side, you know what I mean?
Here's your reminder.
Yes, thank you. Just tickle my ears with that.
Okay, so...
It's a real nice one there, guys.
Voila. Okay, so they're also wider than I'm wanting, so we're going to do the next couple a little thinner, and again, I'll bring less glass, so I'll bring really a lot less glass, so he's reminded to keep it thin, and then the other side will be fatter. I don't have a lot of the big ones, so we're going to do a couple more big ones. I'll scoot over the color. What we're going to do different this time is I am going to, instead of spots, when I'm on the marber, I'm going to turn it, so to make those spots kind of swirl up, and then when we put it on, it's going to create a stripe. So it is a different kind of show tonight. I have a commission for these, and I want to work on some of the color patterns and see which ones I really like best. And since I'm not in the studio a whole bunch, and Chris has this project going on,
you can't get too close to that heat source.
we decided to play around with the commission tonight.
Explode.
So this is what it looks like behind the scenes of an artist studio. You know, normally we make like a warmer upper and we do something or a custom order, but today we're working on the pieces that I would like to work on. And we'll see how many we get done. So the cane was all pulled prior, cut to length. The tool, Chris mentioned the garage, that's something that he built along with the glory hole. The furnaces, some of them we built, some came from the Henry Ford. All right, are you ready or?
I'm ready.
Kind of a peachy color. It melts super quick. Did I do this with the shears last time?
Yep. And there's a pair right there for you on the marver.
So Dennis, if you come right over here, you'll see when I spin it up. So the spots are kind of chunky. And see how now they kind of spun, and now they're going to create stripes on it. Isn't that clever? This is the small size.
Okay.
I do want to give a shout out to the ladies who came to the show this weekend, who were in the show, and the ladies and gentlemen who came to the show. It was super fun. We had an opening for Women's International Women's Day. We had a specialty show in the gallery this weekend. The opening was on Sunday. The show will be up for a month. It's kind of fun to see what everyone else in the gallery produces on their spare time. If it were me and it was my spare time, I'd bring in one of my paint by numbers, which is really hilarious that I'm doing that, but it's pretty meditative, so it's fun. It's a succulent painting from a company I saw on Shark Tank, no less. How many people out there watch Shark Tank? Put it in the chat. Say, I am a Shark Tank or Dragon Den fan. I know Donna in the front office watches Shark Tank. We always talk about the different people we've seen on it. It is one of my favorite shows. Barbara Cochran is one of my favorite people. Chris and I always wonder, how can we get on Shark Tank? But then the reality is, we're too specialized, maybe? I don't know.
We're not going to tell them we need investors to go gigantic with the Detroit puddle. That ain't going to happen.
Yeah, Dragon's Den. I think Dragon's Den started first before
Is that
Shark
the
Tank.
Canadian one?
Yeah. So look
How many cuts do you think on each side? Because
Like
these are
three
like
at the top.
only 3 cuts
Yeah.
on the whole thing.
Yeah.
So 1, 2, and then nothing down there.
Yes.
Okay. You got to tell me those things.
You can see it looks like 2 different colors right now. Do you want to explain that, Chris?
Yeah. Well, one's hotter than the other. This one's a lot cooler, the smaller one. So now we're going to let the other side. I'm equalizing it, and then we're going to have it equal out, and it'll be the same colors. It's only different colors because of the heat. She used the same color pattern.
So for me, it's about color and pattern. I'm not trying to duplicate something in nature. I don't want exact colors. I want colors that work well together. I think the stripe effect is awesome.
It looks really nice. I like it too.
I'm happy with the way that one turned out. So it's a lot more chunks than I had done on the ones previous. They all get reduction. This one, the stripes were black. So there might be a reaction, a nice metallic-y black on this one. See, I think that looks really nice there.
Okay, reduction.
Yep. You know how okay, how many Sticky Lolly fans do we have on today? You know how Sticky Lollies, they make the same thing every week, it's just different colors, different patterns, but it's still mesmerizing? Tonight feels like a Sticky Lolly kind of night. What are you thinking?
Other side.
Your teeth and thought.
Just trying to get it in the annealing oven.
All right, so I like the thin side and the thick side.
Yeah, me too.
I like the length. We'll do longer ones eventually.
Less cuts. I'm going to do less cuts for sure. I mean, it almost looks nice. You don't even need cuts.
That's why a couple at the top and one or two at the bottom.
All right.
Can you do it?
I can do it.
All right, let's put it in the chat. Can he do it? Let's have a bet right now. How many cuts will Chris put in this piece?
None.
Well, it needs a couple.
2. I'll put 2 cuts in
All
there.
right. Do 3 on one side and 2 on another. 5
All right.
total. Can
Sounds
he
good.
do
I like it.
And then this time when I gather, Dennis, I'll have you come by me in the powder so they see that. So this is an orange one. It's a transparent orange with a lot of clear. I'm gonna go for a black feather.
All right, all right.
Five cuts.
I know. 2
5
on
cuts.
one side, 3 on the other.
5 cuts. I can't decide if I should distract him with conversation so he doesn't do all the cuts, or when he's not thinking, is that when he just goes in automated mode? Okay, so the glass is clear when I take it out. And the black powder here, just roll it in, and it's just like rolling flour, like this was a piece of dough.
Somebody asked about a narrow pointed tip like a pheasant's tail.
Yeah, we have some of those. We could do it. You could try it. Okay, this is the twisting. We're not going for spots. We're going to go for some stripes again.
This is the small side?
This is the small side.
All right.
Sure is quiet without Jake here tonight and Chris concentrating. What?
2 cuts.
Holy moly. All right, next color, or next side.
Yeah, that's something I just saw. Somebody said the feathers have personality. That's what's a pretty cool thing about this particular design Michelle's doing, this idea, is that each one has its own personality, which is super sweet. Its own, style. You know, it's really cool.
After this piece, we're going to go to Command Central.
All right.
Give Uncle Dennis a break from the camera. All right. Spinning it up. Spinning it up. So this side is not that much thicker, so it could be a good pheasant feather. But I also think you need to like heat it up and swing it to stretch it. But I don't know. So we had the show this week and we had some, do you need help there?
Nope.
Look at that fancy trick. The show, I started saying the show we had this weekend, we had some of our regulars come by to catch the new work. A lot of times in the spring we have different shows where we do live glass blowing and our regulars show up, come enjoy the show. What happened? You started squeezing it and it just popped off?
Yep.
Can he do it? Concentrating so hard on just how many cuts?
3.
Watch that stem. I see it all in the chat. Chris can follow directions. He can. And then there's like, oh, Jake's not here. He doesn't have anyone to bounce silly jokes off of. But you can tell he's concentrating because he's not talking.
Well, I'm doing something that I don't do very often, and I want to do a good job for the big
How
boss.
to make Chris be silent. Challenge him on the blowpipe. No!
Ah! Lost it. Waxy tweezers. But that's all right. That's how you do it. Can't get them all in there.
Okay, so we'll take just a pause here. How about we go to Command Central? We'll set down the roving camera and we'll talk from the solid camera. Sam will give you the heads up when we've switched.
You and I are doing Command Central?
No, you can.
have me doing it?
You can or not, either one.
I've never even been prepped on what I'm supposed to do on Command Central.
All right, sit down, I'll show you.
What's happening? I guess I'm on Command Central, folks.
In front of you are all the comments if you want to read them. Do you have your glasses?
Nope, but I'll
There.
try. I can read them. I won't.
Well, then you can't even read this.
Well, I can try for sure.
These were the fun bubblegum
All right,
answers.
I can do it. I can do it.
Oh, this was the luck one, actually. These are bubblegum. So we asked the question last week, what do you feel lucky for? Someone said, I'm still waiting. Words of encouragement
All right, I'll read these. These are from the question that was
last week.
What are you grateful for? No, what
do
are you
feel
lucky?
Yeah, do you have the luck
Oh,
of the
do you
Irish?
have the luck of the Irish? Okay.
So those were some
So
of
I'm
the
supposed to
answers.
read some of these. That's what we asked last week. Do you have the luck of the Irish, guys? I know I do, because I find money all the time. Literally, whenever I'm outside walking around, I find money. So not in the woods, but sometimes I have. But
Yeah,
in
and
a
that one biffed
urban
it.
area,
I
cash
would bring
comes to
him
me like a
glasses if they
magnet.
were in here.
All right. a chance to enter this contest
How's it going there
for
for
a
you,
prize. That's a pretty lucky one. I need some good luck. Feels like not much has been happening. Oh, another positive one there. I get to keep my grandchildren every work day. That is super lucky. Jackpot for a slot machine. It took 12 years, but I finally got it. I like that. I was super lucky and got to cross the border and participate in a GA workshop in January. It was awesome. Not so awesome or lucky that I'm going to miss the show tonight. Have a good one. But I think it's a good one. What's up, Carrie? How are you? Nice to see you. I was going to say let's go Boston, but let's not go Boston. Let's go Wings. But all hockey's good hockey. What else? What do we got going on over here? You guys saw what happened to that leaf. I'm sorry, that feather. It fell off the end of the pipe just because it's a really fragile connection, and it fell off the one time, but when it goes, when I put it back on with a torch, it probably doesn't have the same solid connection as when it was all one piece of glass, so that's why it came off again. Yeah, what else, guys? Command Central. Here's the bubblegum one. Some people said, I don't know what the question was about bubblegum. Do you know what it was, Sam? What the question was about bubblegum? Everyone says they like blowing bubbles. It's funny because Michelle had this show and she had all these glass bubblegum pieces in the show. She put a giant container of bazooka bubblegum out there for people to take. And yesterday I was blowing glass and I took a piece of it. I haven't chewed a piece of gum in a long time, and it was a lot of work. Man, my jaw was hurting after about a half an hour of chewing a piece of gum. I was blowing some pretty darn big bubbles and snapping the heck out of it, and then I had to get rid of it. I thought I was going to die. I don't chew bubble gum, guys. Someone just asked me that, and when I do, yesterday, I snap it, I blow bubbles. I'm a really good bubble blower. I remember when I was a kid, we used to blow bubbles, and the kicker was when the bubble was so big that when it popped, it completely covered your whole face. So that's happened to me a few times. I don't do that now because of the facial hair. It would be a complete nightmare. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess I could read more of these things, Command Central, you guys, but I think I'm just going to look at Michelle's feather here that she was telling me about and do some thoughts, because she hasn't let me look at the feathers and study them. I'm just gaffing, doing it what she tells me to do. But if I look at the feathers and study them a little bit, I probably will be able to make a better feather. But this one right here is pretty heavy duty, and it is really small on one side. Check that out. And it's really big on the other side. So I'm wondering if that's kind of the way that they're lined on the wing. I don't know what the heck kind of feather is. It would be like a duck feather or something, you know? Yeah, probably something to do, Sam says, with aerodynamics. But I think that they just get what they're dealt, and that's it. And if they're not done right, they're just the ones that you see flying all cockeyed. It's the truth, everybody. What?
Do you remember the story I told you about Chernobyl?
No.
Who heard that on NPR? Was Chernobyl invited people after the nuclear fallout, like 20 years, 25 years, whatever it was after, and they were saying birds had one full developed wing, but the other wing was not fully developed.
So they just kept flying in a circle?
No, they just couldn't. They just adapted in other ways, but it reminded me.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it would
Ready?
be great if they had like some crazy like superpower that they could like fly like really fast.
Okay, how many?
Ooh, I love that one. Is that a peacock feather?
Pheasant. This is
Pheasant.
what they were asking.
Yeah, that one's pretty sweet looking.
So you want to go there?
Yeah, and I was thinking about that too. Look at how this one's got like a curve to it, you guys. To the back. This one's got like 3,000 cuts on it, not 3, sweetie. Look.
I wasn't making that one.
I know, but I'm saying, I don't know. It's a lot of cuts. All right. Well,
Look at, how did Julie win? I forgot to send an email, but I won Starbucks for a year a few years back. Oh, because that was her luck. That's what she was saying.
A turkey primary flight feather. Is that what that is? This?
For this?
I think it's this one. This looks like turkey.
These are from the hipster store called the El Dorado.
Hey, thanks for loving the hat. Whoever told me that, I missed it, but
All right, you ready?
yeah. Pheasant tail feather, that's this guy. I'm ready. Let's do it. Make the switch.
This is the same color pattern. Same color pattern.
She's got one picked out for me, guys. And I'm going to give myself a nice big connection point so this one stays on there. A lot of these spirals have multiple colors on the inside. I would call them like the spine of the feather. There must be a name, like the spine sounds familiar. Oh yeah, here we go. And I wonder, I think that's like the spine of the feather is like a nail, like a fingernail.
It's the shaft of the feather.
It's called the shaft?
Yes.
All right.
So you guys can Google why we don't know the correct words. You can like look it up and educate us while we educate you. So I hear Julie's gonna get me a peacock. Is that a whole peacock, Julie, or just a peacock feather? I do have some at home. I did not bring those in because they're super multicolored with this giant dot in them, and I was like, they didn't have a shaft in their style. But Julie, I'll take a peacock. How many of you guys have ever heard a peacock holler? Oh, it is. Gabby said it's the worst thing ever. It sounds like someone screaming murder. We were shopping property one day in the country, and we heard peacock screaming. It was crazy. All right, we're going for the stripe version again, so I can pick up some chunks, not too many.
Somehow Michelle and I both have purple shirts on today. She must have got the memo I sent out. And you guys have got your red
and
pattern
black.
going.
Tech support's matching as well. All right, this is creating those lines. No Instagram Live tonight. Oh, maybe. So I actually went in 2 different colors. So we're gonna see what happens there. I got over to the color bin and I said, wait a second, what did I do? But the dots will be the same. All right, there they all are. Do you want it? Oh, perfect. They look like inchworms. They look like caterpillars the way the color is. You want a peacock feather this one?
All right.
We got the feather going. All right, so I do have to admit, I binge watched something the other day. Should we tell them about it?
Yeah, if you want.
He's deep in thought. So how many of you watch Bad Vegan? It's kind of like Tiger King. It's on Netflix, super cool. Absolutely amazing restaurant that went astray.
I'm trying to equalize the heat on both sides of this so when I pull it out, it pulls out evenly, guys.
Remember the colors are different too. So that's not helping you. That works.
Yeah.
Keeping it hot, and then we'll do the reduction next. I like the pattern, the color pattern's amazing.
Mm-hmm. All right, we do a little reduction on this guy.
So one of the things that's cool about Chris
I'm gonna go again.
doing these feathers is the Venetian goblets that he does are very fragile and are tricky to make. It's all about timing. Woo-wee!
That's a pretty one.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so will they be for sale next week? I think so.
Yes,
That
they
means
will.
I have to get the wood done, get them drilled, get it varnished. You ready?
All right.
Okay, that was an orange. This is a white.
I know she's gonna want another one, guys, so I'm just going in and getting it so she's ready to go. Same old gig, a little silent air time.
That's okay.
Yeah, just picking it up. I'm kind of concentrating on keeping it on center, guys.
It's very rare that you're silent during the shows. Soon enough, we'll know if you start talking a bunch that you've got it down. Right?
Yeah.
If Chris starts talking a bunch.
Well, when I'm making stuff that I'm pretty confident with what I'm doing, I can talk a lot more, but I'm really doing something, and besides I'm trying to do it well for everybody who's watching, I'm trying to do it well for Michelle too. And if I don't do it well for her, you know what'll happen. I'll be in the doghouse. All right, this one, I got it on there real nice.
So these pieces did start from the experimental show. We did lots of experimenting with them. Big polka dots turning into lines. I don't know, that looks so like one of those tomato caterpillars. Kind of crazy. This is your small side.
All right. I like that color pattern a lot.
All right, second side coming up. After this feather, it's time for Wheel of Names. Behind you.
I don't know, maybe Otto and Francis down in Florida might be watching tonight, guys,
Oh,
7:15. My mom might be watching. I don't know if she is or not. She's been having some Facebook trauma lately. Like most elderly folks do, they have a hard time navigating through Facebook, Zoom calls, what have you.
Say that again?
John would like to know why you start with the small side.
That's a good question. Why do we start with a small side? Because you can't do a large bit and then a small bit. It's easier to do a small bit with the furnace and then gather the same pipe and then gather the bigger bit. I would use twice as much glass if I did the thick side and then went to the small side. I guess it's a way of conserving raw materials.
As opposed to unraw materials.
Or what else? Efficiency of bringing bits is another way, because the way the heat will stay. It's kind of fun when we do something over and over, because then you guys are thinking of different questions that you don't normally ask or see. All right, someone asked if we could do a feather handle on a mug.
It would be really fragile. Super fragile. I think it'd be better to do a regular handled mug and then wrap a feather around the mug so that the feather's not this fragile thing that would break off the mug. It's functional, you know? I think that'd be the cool way to do it. All right, I'm gonna go for that pull. Or do you want the pull on this one or no?
Yeah, do another pull. I think they're cool. We'll check them out.
That looks pretty cool.
All right, so this is feather number 6.
Look at that guy. I like how thin it got on the top edge.
Yeah, and
like
I
that
like
real
the-
feather.
What was it called? The shaft on the back side. So these feathers are also meant to view from all angles. They're not just frontal pieces or back pieces. Some of my tests, I didn't like the way the feather looked from the back side. Reduction.
Yeah, that's a nice one. Sure. That's our boy.
So watch that compote in there. You're making me nervous. So close.
Left side, and I can, other side, and I can put them, don't open it yet though. I can put them on top of each other. Yep. Nice.
Woohoo!
Yeah, we can stack these, I forgot, so that's nice. We can stack them, guys.
Okay, we are now moving to Wheel of Names. So back over to Command Central.
All right.
Yep. welcome. Whoa, this stool is like, hello. So back at Command Central, gives Uncle Dennis a break from the camera. Since we had our lovely show this weekend, I kind of put these fun little flowers in the giveaway vase. So it is functional. But just, I'm not gonna pour the water out, but there it is. That's last week's giveaway. So Wheel of Names was rolled, and the whole reason we do these contests is to collect emails from new people, get new people to the show. This week's question, how do you celebrate spring? Send it to enews@glassacademy.com. And last week, one of the newbies won, and we know she's new because she's not in our system. Other thing is we're doing some cleanup with our emails, and we're transferring from Microsoft to Google, so we like completely emptied the mailbox, pulled this name, and now we can't go back to find out her full name. So we're gonna let you know. Her name is Lynn. Lynn this. Lynn something. So Lynn, this is your email. You're gonna get an email sent to you that says you won this prize and what happens next. As soon as we transfer our email, that won't happen again. We'll be able to go back and look at it. But for now, Lynn, this is you. If this looks familiar, you have won the giveaway vase. Okay, so this weekend we had Sam's bunnies. You saw those. We've got eggs because it's spring, and we have our eggs up on the website. I did want to mention also, I'm not going to make one tonight, but the One Gather vase, it's like this giant clear bubble that's super cool. But what's really nice about it, and you'll see on the website, is when you add any flower from your garden, that water level in it just makes it super cool and reflective. This is my favorite flower that just happens to be in season, called Reniculus. It's ridiculous. It's Reniculus. Yeah, it's a mellow show this week. So what do you want to know? This is your time and chance to answer, or to get us to answer your questions. At the women's show this weekend, one of my pieces involved bubble gum. I made some glass like bubble gum blobs that were really fun. But I asked the questions, do you like to blow bubble gum? That was Sunday's contest. So we also send out e-news on Sunday, and those contests you win a $25 gift card if we pull your name. So same kind of thing, we do Wheel of Names. Pick a name, you'll get an email if you won that $25, and you can apply it towards a class or a product. And some of the questions, or some of the answers. I haven't chewed bubble gum in years. I would blow bubbles though when I did. So my kind of question became, yeah, like when I was a kid, I blew a lot of bubbles. Why did I stop? I don't know. But a lot of people, if they said yes, they said they love to blow bubbles. Mainly chew bubble gum to help my breath between brushings. And now that I think about it, that seems lame. That's funny. Used to when I was younger. And I was wondering, someone said it pulled out their cavities. Is that like a thing? Can you pull out your cavities from chewing gum? I just don't know. Hubba Bubba, yep, that's what we did. A couple people said there are those annoying gum poppers. I think that's just a nervous habit. Blowing bubbles is the only reason for chewing gum. Yep. Who got, put it in the chat. Who got bubble gum in their hair? Did anyone ever do that when I was a kid? You know, someone would throw bubble gum and it would stick in your hair. And do you know how, like, you get rid of it? Do you know this? Who knows how to get rid of bubble gum when it sticks in your hair? Put it in the chat. Yeah, Sam says you just cut it out. No. How do you get rid of bubble gum in your hair? Who's the fastest person to Google it? Does Gabby know? How to get bubble gum out of your hair? Don't say it. Yeah, Uncle Dennis said you cut it too. No. Mayonnaise, peanut butter. That's the one I was looking for. It was peanut butter. Mayonnaise probably would work. It's like the fat. Peanut butter, that's the way. Ice cubes wouldn't it just freeze? Or does the gum fall apart? I don't know. Peanut butter, it's so gross. Or if you're ever chewing bubble gum and someone gives you a potato chip, it will totally break down the gum, and it's the creepiest thing. It like disintegrates in your mouth. All right, a couple more feathers and call it a night. Sam, will you switch us up?
Now my microphone's on. at some point in time, maybe we have to do a feather giveaway, right?
Feather giveaway.
And then maybe could we do a giant feather?
Well, what? We don't have giant cane up. You just gonna...
We can make a cane. I can just make a quick cane, and you can bring the color bits,
Okay.
like an ostrich feather.
All right, so how about do the giveaway one now and then the giant one?
All right. Well, okay.
Yeah, the giant one's not going to be the giveaway.
All right. So this will be the giveaway one. The giveaway is always the last one, but it's okay. I don't care. We can do the giveaway now and then a giant one after that.
Because the giveaway, you can use the cane that's in there.
All right. So we got 25 minutes. So I'm just gonna hurry up and get over there.
Let's look at these eggs 1 second while he's hurrying over there. This cane is the same pattern that's on the feathers. So it's another application, and again, it's a Venetian technique that we really enjoy. For these, it's a yellow and a white. I chose neutral colors for the feathers that I'm using. But if you grew up with, like I did, with soft-boiled eggs in an egg cup, it's kind of fun to have those as decorations and put the glass egg on them. These section here, these are all frosted. So they are sandblasted and then a lacquer rubbed into them. So they've got this really neat matte surface.
I love the frosted ones. Really nice.
I thought you were making a feather.
I would be over there waiting for you to bring me a bit, so that's why I didn't go over there. Let's do it.
You've got to move it, move it. Let's do the white one because it's thicker.
Okay. White on white?
I have a little white up. I do want to do white on white
That's this one then.
with gold spots.
Giant feather coming your way, guys. That's right. Michelle can't hear me, but we're
So
gonna
this
do a
one I'm
big
just going to
one.
do spots, no stripes.
I like that technique where I push it down and center it. Yeah, well, you do enough of these. Another 100 of them, we'll have them down.
So this is going to be funny to do the giant feather because that's when everyone always says, how big can you make it?
Do they say it that way?
They do. Why does it always have to be big?
one, folks.
Does big make it more valuable?
It doesn't make it. It probably does make it more valuable, but it makes me think about the giant bird that it came from.
A little low on the white powder here, but we're going to make it happen.
Pterodactyl feather.
What was that?
A pterodactyl feather? I don't think pterodactyls have feather. I think they're like alligators or something. Right? They don't have feathers.
Are like,
No way. They just fell out and all they found was the crusty Tyrannosaurus Rex skin. Well, I'm still sticking with the dinosaur book that I had when I was a kid.
Richard Scarry.
Jurassic Park is all made up. Mosquito DNA. I mean, it's a cool idea, whoever thought that up.
You can do big, like both sides big.
So this is the giveaway,
This is the giveaway one.
and it's looking like a cool one.
White and gold.
Nice. Oh, baby. We got a big boy coming
Well, that's
around.
what I said. I don't know, maybe cut it.
I like it.
I think it needs the wider ones. I
Needs
think
what?
that works. I think it needs the wider ones. On a nice piece of dark wood, that's going to look amazing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's white with gold spots.
So I'm heating up the one that was colder so that when I go in there and superheat the whole thing, hopefully they'll be the same temperature on both sides. So when I pull out, it pulls out symmetrical. One good heat on it first before I pull it out, letting it lengthen out a little bit. I think even a little bit more heat on that little side.
So we have a German short-haired pointer, and he's white and brown, like the liver color, and he's got spots. It's so interesting how he blends in and all these different patterns when we take him through the woods. And so I can kind of see with the feathers too. You know, how the birds blend in.
That's getting to be pretty cool. I think these things are going to evolve.
Do you want to,
The reduction?
yeah, you might want to pinch that. So that's a pretty nice giveaway piece.
I'd say.
Did it reduce enough, or should we do it one more time?
We could do it one more time.
So Mr. Jumbotron, who wants to do the giant feather next?
That's the giant one.
Yeah. I just want to remind you that the garage, or
The annealer?
the annealer has so much space. We could put it in the garage and brick up the garage to anneal it as another choice. This side?
Not yet. Okay. That was a cool one. Man, it's like you brought that giant side and it just looks good. Like what you say sometimes really works, you guys.
Wow, did we get that on camera? Is that really filmed?
I think you guys
Wow.
just saw it all go down. It's funny.
Wait a second,
usually-
so can I record that on my phone and play
No,
it?
because you could play it back when that might not be the case yet. You might only be like at the 10th time of telling you something, not the 15th. So, but it is true. It did turn out really cool, and Michelle telling me the same thing over and over again, and finally sank in. It turned out amazing. So I do love those pieces. And the nicest thing about them that I love the most is that they're not my pieces, they're yours. And I love it when I like someone else's work as much as I like my own.
Okay, so you're gonna do a jumbo one. So I was thinking, right now our class is percola reed. So how about do the stem like a percola reed so I can explain what that is? And upsell the classes so people who are on the fence about coming will see what that is, and then feather it up from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm just going to make a straight thing to put it on.
Well, it's kind of like a pergola ring.
All right, well, kind of.
All right, so the garage gets turned off because...
You're the color pattern girl, right?
Yeah, what are you going to do?
I think maybe all iris would be nice.
Trays are below you.
Get a close-up of that little gemstone action there, Dennis.
So this is the size of, I don't know what, maybe like, I don't know, nibs that you'd see in a chocolate bar. Voila.
What color do you think you're going to use? I'm going to go in the white and then go in the iris. I'm going to go in the white and then the iris. Sorry, I just need a little bit. Is it? I was going to leave it a little bit thicker so I wouldn't lose control of it.
All right, so off he goes. This is Chris with the stem. So we have an upcoming class, and we'll explain it in another show. It's called a pergola reed. It's this, I think I posted earlier on Facebook. It's just this really cool piece of glass that you can put in your houseplants or your garden. And yes, you make it here. It goes on a metal post or a pipe, copper pipe, and you can hang it in your garden, not hang it, push it in the ground of your garden amongst your plants, and it looks really cool. So Chris did white and iris gold on this. I'm actually going to use a tan color, and it's called copper ruby.
So you're going to have to bring me some decent sized bits here,
Well, that's
sweetie.
what I was just like, why did you gather so much glass? I mean, this is going to be as big as my torso.
I wanted to make a jumbo one.
Yeah, well, you succeeded.
Well, we don't even have to anneal it.
Well, we put all the color and everything on it. Of course we will.
Well, we'll lay it in there real gentle.
Let it be known, anything that Michelle makes, Chris has to do one of his own version.
This is yours. You're making the color pattern. Just the beastie one. All right, why don't you start it up? Since it's going to be 4 gathers.
I know. Should I put a gathering
No.
rod up?
Guys, we got to get buck wild around here once
Maybe
in a while.
I'll use this blowpipe.
It's looking like a cool pattern in here. I got a lot more time because it's a lot thicker. This one here, if anyone around here is familiar with Cedar Point, when we were a kid, we used to go to Cedar Point, the roller coaster capital of the world, and we'd get a giant Cedar Point pencil that was like the size of my thumb, but like this long. And you'd have that thing, you'd be running around with it, swinging around at people, causing problems.
Better keep that thing hot.
All right, Michelle's got the small side for me. You leaving it speckled or twisting it?
Nope, speckled.
All right.
I meant to take another gather and I forgot. But you're not starting. Yeah, it's enough. Perfect. We are not doing Cedar Point this year. I'm not sure who's doing Cedar Point this year. The woman who came after us that they hired, I don't know. She's building her own glass shop. So she may or may not be back. those of you who saw us at Cedar Point, that was amazing. We did it for 5 years and decided that we want to focus on our own work and what we had to offer versus training others and managing people. So it was a very fun experience, but we want to blow glass, not manage others who blow glass.
It's good.
Oh yeah, plenty big. And because this is Chris's,
It's not mine, it's yours. I'm just.
and you're doing the Jumbotron, it's up to you now to pull it through. So does this one go in a log?
Could go on the wall with one of those hangers. A group of these would be sweet. Same as when they were smaller, guys. I want to heat up that other side.
So this show was a little different this week, doing the feathers the whole show. I was kind of thinking of sticky lollies, and I'll bring them up again on how they do the whole show. They're making the candies, and it's just kind of different patterns or different shapes. I hope you found this interesting, making the same product over and over, understanding the steps and the process. I know a lot of the shows we do a bunch of different items. It's kind of a lot for us to arrange those shows sometimes. So tonight with Jake not here, we thought it'd be a nice mellow show, doing one kind of signature theme and showing you variations of that theme. Jeez. Flip flop, flip flop. So that was another thing we discovered about the feathers, that they're not really twisted, but that's a natural occurrence that glass wants to do that. So untwisting it. All right, a little clarity. So Sam and Gabby are on the comments and stuff and just kind of hearing it like a visitor would. What am I looking for? A customer, a client. And I want to mention again on the Gathering Point page, Sam's bunnies are made out of resin. She does them, she 3D printed, then made a mold, and then does these resin bunnies and cleans them up. So it's really how larger sculptures are made too, with the mold and all of that jazz, but they are resin, they are not glass. That's the disclaimer. So you can see here, it's a little tricky on a flat item too, to kind of get the heat. If we had the compressed air hooked up, he might consider using the compressed air to cool sections while he gets other parts hot. Oh, that was cool. It's like so drippy, it looks like a towel or something. That top's really nice though. I don't know that I would have changed it.
I was trying to make the one that we did before. Like that, you think?
Yeah, compressed air would be great. So using it on the marver like this is a way to cool it down. I don't know when you want reduction, so.
The last flash here, maybe.
Now it looks like a spear. like a
It's pretty.
Indian spear.
All right. How about some reduction?
So this is changing the air gas mixture. It's going to make it a golden hue, like that guy Hugh.
Hugh Hefner.
Hugh. You have iris gold on the shaft of the feather, correct?
What'd you say? Yeah. Yep, I do. So one of those rondelle hangers would hang these guys perfectly on the wall.
Very cool, very cool. You can tell from Chris's hand the scale of it. It's probably 18 inches, so 16. Maybe that way?
Yep.
All right.
Perfect.
Very nice, very nice.
All right. Uncle Dennis, one-handed. Woo! I like it.
So Jumbo Feathertron. We'll go here. Yeah, we can switch to this. I like Luann's comment here. Great gift for someone spiritually Native American as well. I agree. We had someone here, Allison, helping us with the show this weekend. She set up the show, and I was talking about saging the building. How many people out there know what that means? Like saging and clearing the energy. We were going to stage the building before the show and decided that most people probably don't know what that is, and so they wouldn't necessarily appreciate the smell. But a lot of Native Americans or in spiritual practices, they'll take sage in a bowl and then use feathers to kind of push the sage around, and it's a positive clearing of energy. So the spiritual work that I'm doing the last year and a half has got me interested in some of those practices, and so the feathers are kind of good timing for that. Someone else said it looks like a spear. There is a glass artist that makes these really cool spears, and they're a lot thicker. They're really neat, but yeah, it did look like a sphere. Definitely put your comments in the chat if you like this style of show. It's a little easier for us
Did we
to
do
manage.
the giveaway from last week?
Yeah,
We already did?
we did.
Nice.
It's easier for us to manage these kind of shows when we do a body of work like that, and you'll get to see multiples of the same item. So there's that. This was show 155. We've got some interesting shows coming up. Next week, I didn't get it together. We'll let you know how much money we raised for the Ukrainian The World Kitchen. Sent that check out. Actually, we didn't send the check out. We did it online. Yep, look at that, William. My wife sages our house during the beginning of spring. Absolutely a really cool thing to do. I think it smells fantastic. We grow our own sage, and so I continually dry it throughout the year, and then I'll have it all winter. Yeah. Any closing remarks from you?
Oh, keep your eyes peeled if you're a VIP on YouTube, because there's 2 more crazy big botanical installations I'm doing here within the next week and a half. They got to be installed in like 2 weeks, guys. So they're all going to be coming together. I'm going to be saving all kinds of information on that. Probably,
Thursday, we
yeah.
film the members only show, which will appear. I don't know. We have to decide.
Yeah, but that's it.
It's been a lovely, lovely show.
Have a great night. Don't do too much. Don't do anything with peanut butter that I wouldn't do.
Thank you. Shout out to Uncle Dennis. Cheryl says, "Tha." Tha. I'm not sure what that means, but we know Cheryl, so I'm just teasing her. Everyone, have a great night. Great seeing you. We'll see you Thursday for the annealing reveal when we'll be showing off these feathers, and then also on Sunday for the experimental show.
Thanks.
Cheryl says thanks. Have a great night, everyone.
Later.